Hey there, Aubrey. What's shaking?
Hi, Lindsay. How's it going?
Oh, it's going great. Glad to be recording with you today. What are we getting into today?
I have a question for you.
All right.
Do you consider yourself a happy-go-lucky person?
Oh man, I would say I generally am a pretty happy-go-lucky person. Yeah, I'm pretty optimistic overall. I think when I was like a teenager, it was a little easier to be like purely happy-go-lucky, right? As we get a little older, I
hmm
think we get more complicated.
Yes, this is such a fun idiomatic adjective, right? You
Yes.
look at it, you guys might be like, happy-go-lucky. What does that mean? It's just an
Yeah,
idiom.
what does it even mean?
Yes, it just means really positive, laid back, not easily stressed out, not easily worried. I
Yes.
am a pretty happy-go-lucky person. Like it
That's
takes a
good.
lot to rattle me, to stress me out, even when like
Good.
things are pretty extreme and with kids or whatever. I'm like, you know what? It's gonna be okay. We're all
That's
right.
amazing. That is so good. You like a calming
Thank
presence. You
goodness.
get people to calm
Yeah.
down, right? So
Yes,
good.
right.
So
But
good.
this is interesting because this is a three-word adjective that has to be
Mm.
hyphenated. When you write it, it should be happy hyphen go hyphen lucky, right?
Yes.
And there aren't a ton of three-word adjectives in
Mm-hmm.
the English language, but there are a lot of two-word adjectives. And this is one of the most common mistakes that is made by both native English speakers and language learners is to forget to hyphenate these. And what's really hard is usually when they come after the noun, they're not hyphenated. When they come before the
Right.
noun, they are. So
Yes.
this is tricky. We're gonna enlighten. We're gonna simplify this so that you guys can
Yes.
get this right.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the things that for me, even in the last couple of years, I had to firm up my understanding of this to check it. I was tired of making the mistake and I had to go back and think, okay, when do I hyphenate it? When do I not? So it's something that,
Right.
yeah, native speakers definitely
It's
are
tricky.
challenged by this unless they teach English, unless they think about it a lot,
hmm
because you don't necessarily write these all the time, right?
Exactly. It's usually, well, at least it's often with speech. So you're not
Yes.
having to worry about it, but it's when you write that this matters, right? And
Yeah.
if you are writing a cover letter for your resume, or maybe you're writing a book, then it matters. You don't want to
Hmm.
make a mistake like this. It is, even though native English speakers make this mistake a lot, when they see it in the news, when they see it in a book, it's flagged. They notice it, right? There's
Yeah.
something about when we read it, we're used
Something
to
wrong.
seeing it correct when we read. And
Yes.
so you want to make sure to write it correctly.
I love it. So good. So before we get into this, I think this episode is going to be super useful for our listeners to reach to that 99% level of connection and fluency. But first, I want to say thank you to our iOS app reviewers. Guys, we have an iOS app and an Android app. You can get it at allearsenglish.com/app. I want to call out the people who reviewed us over there. Sahar Persian Girl, Sarah Saeed RB, Sierra 8894, and Mariam MY are just a few of our reviewers. Guys, go check out the app and leave us a review. We'd love to see your comments and what you think about the app and how we could improve it.
Awesome. This is going to be fun. Let's dive in now
Okay.
to hyphenating two-word adjectives. That's the main
Yeah.
thing is when they come before the noun, you want to hyphenate. They're also called compound adjectives. That just means
Hmm.
an adjective that's more than one word. So
Yep.
two-word or three-word, those are both compound adjectives, right?
Yes. Yes. Love it. What would be an example? I think we're going to have a
Okay.
lot of examples in today's
Yes.
episode.
Definitely. And the first one's a little tongue in cheek, a little funny that our first example is two-word adjective, right? Because
Okay.
the most common two-word adjective is a number followed by a noun, like
Mm-hmm.
this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Two-word should be hyphenated when it comes before adjective. And what's tricky, let's just point out that if it comes after, then the
Mm-hmm.
sentence would be, this adjective is two words. And that
Uh-huh.
is not a compound adjective there. It's just the word
It,
two and the word words. So no hyphen if it
right.
comes after.
It's no longer an adjective, really, right?
Exactly, right?
Right.
Two is the
Interesting.
adjective, words becomes a
Mm-hmm.
noun when it comes after. So that's what you want to do. Keep in mind, is this still being used as an adjective? Because
Yes.
sometimes it is still an adjective after the noun. English, rude.
Yeah, I think it rude. I think if you guys master this, you're really going to feel like you're closing the loop on English for
Yes.
yourselves, right? It's one of those high level skills. Here's another example, right? So, first rate presentation. You delivered a first rate presentation, right?
Means excellent, right?
Yeah.
I love to deliver a first rate presentation. That's a really
Yeah.
good compliment. If someone
Yes.
at work gives an amazing presentation, say this to them: that presentation was first rate.
Yes, I love it. And then when we put it after, do
It's
we?
still an adjective. Yeah. So it's still going to be that presentation was first rate. And because first rate is still an adjective, it would still be hyphenated.
Okay, so if it's still an adjective, we're still going to hyphenate it, even if it's after the noun, right, Aubrey?
Exactly. Right. Exactly. And if you separate these words out, it would change. It would be like the first rating or the first ratio, right? We don't use rate. Like it would have to, if you're going to make rate a noun,
Yep.
the meaning's going to change, the words are going to change. First rate together is always an adjective. Learn that as a chunk. It will always be
that's more of a
hyphenated.
chunk. Yeah, you guys are going to want to get the app for this today to be able to see the transcripts while we're
Yes.
speaking. That's going to be key
Yes.
here. Okay, let's get to the good stuff now.
Yes. All right. This I love. Deep fried Oreos. Deep fried is an adjective describing the Oreos, so it should be hyphenated. Deep hyphen fried. Lindsay, I love deep fried Oreos. Have you ever had them?
You know what? It's crazy. I've never tried deep fried Oreos. I can't believe I haven't.
I can't believe you haven't. Way better than ice cream, Lindsay.
I don't know about that.
They dip an Oreo in like batter and drop it in frying, so it becomes sort of like a donut that has melted gooey Oreo in the middle.
Yeah.
They usually serve it at like carnivals or fairs, and it is
for sure.
so good.
Okay, I'll have to try that next time. Often if I go to a brewery or go somewhere for just snacks and a drink, I'll get, well, they call them fried pickles. I don't know if they're deep
Oh,
fried
I love
pickles.
fried pickles.
Yeah,
Yes, they are
fried
deep
pickles.
fried.
Okay, they're deep fried. It's
They're
the
always
US.
deep fried in the U.S.
Oh, yeah, gosh, yeah.
But it's interesting. We started making these at home where we would just dip it in pancake batter and put it on a skillet. And it's
pickles
the
or
same
Oreos?
effect. Oreos. No, I actually I have made deep fried pickles at home too because my husband and I both love them.
Yum.
But also Oreos just in pancake batter. It's the same effect. And then you just cook it like a pancake and the Oreo in the middle gets melty and gooey. Lindsay, they are delicious. And they're not fried. It's just like a pancake on a skillet.
But do you still get the crispiness of it? That's the thing I would worry about losing with the pancake.
That's true. If you deep fry it, it's more crispy on the outside, but it is just as delicious as you've probably had Oreo pancakes. Have you ever had pancakes that have Oreos in them?
I've had pancakes that have chocolate chips in them.
You've
for
never
sure.
had Oreo pancakes?
No,
Lindsay?
that sounds
You've been
crazy.
living under a rock. You guys
That
out there, I'm
sounds
so
so
curious.
sweet.
Come to the YouTube video and let us know if you have had Oreo
Oh
pancakes
my.
and deep fried Oreos, and tell Lindsay what she's missing out on. They
I
are
didn't
sweet, but
know
they
that
are
was even
so
a thing.
scrumptious.
So wait,
Yes.
do you mean you put the pieces of the Oreo in
Yes.
the pancake
you like
batter?
crush them up, so you put them in like a Ziploc bag and crush them, just pound them so they become sort of like little
okay.
pieces, and then you just mix them up in the batter.
Very
Or
w-
sometimes we'll like put batter on the skillet and then drop Oreo chunks on it and then flip it. It's so good. They are sweet. This is a sweet breakfast, but
Yes.
delicious. My kids love them. I love them.
Oh, okay. I'll try that next
Not
time.
the healthiest breakfast. Not the
Oh,
healthiest
sugar
breakfast you'll
bomb.
ever
I mean,
eat.
I think I would have to lie down after that and just
Have a sugar coma.
you would be in a sugar coma. That is very typical of our culture, right?
Yes.
This is
Sweet,
you know, you
heavy
could just,
breakfast.
if you really want to have all the crazy things we can do with pancakes, go to IHOP. That would be the place to
Yes.
go.
They probably have
right?
Oreo pancakes at IHOP.
Oh, I'm sure.
But
I'm
like
sure.
the average breakfast brunch place, I feel like you can find Oreo pancakes now. It's a thing. It's because it's trending.
You can find all sorts of yeah, that's true. It's they're usually huge too, right? Be ready for a whole plate worth of a pancake. It's
Right,
insane.
so good.
Yeah.
Okay, we have one more example here.
Okay.
It's Absent-Minded Professor, which this has been the title of a TV show or movie or something, so you may have
Okay.
heard this before. Absent-minded here is an adjective, right? It's
Yes.
describing a person who is not always focused when they're thinking. Absent-minded is like your mind wanders a lot.
Yeah, and this is kind of the stereotypical idea. Sometimes professors are so focused on their area of expertise that sometimes they can be a mess in other areas, or in a very endearing and adorable way. I'm thinking of my mom because she was a professor of child psychology for 10 years, and she can be absent-minded in
absent-minded.
other ways, but if you start talking about child psychology, she'll go forever and just go very, very deep.
She probably has all these deep thoughts she's always having. She can't be focused on not burning
Exactly,
dinner when
exactly.
she's thinking about important things.
There's more important things to think about in life, right? Yeah, I love that.
This is good to keep in mind, though. This also will always be hyphenated, an adjective, so learn it as a chunk. Absent-minded, closed-minded, open-minded, all of these that we use to
Narrow-minded.
describe different narrow-minded, nice, are all hyphenated, two-word adjectives because they're always an adjective.
Okay, good. So I think our listeners want to see how this is done in a real conversation.
Yeah, so we have a short role play where you and I are at work waiting for a meeting to begin. You can definitely use these at work, guys.
All right, here we go. Wow, look at that 4-page agenda.
Yikes. I'm only a part-time employee, so I'm not actually sure if I'm supposed to attend this meeting or not.
I feel like you're a level-headed person, though, so they may want your feedback.
Nice. So we
like,
actually
this
have
is
3 new ones in this role play, which is
good.
fun. We didn't
Yeah,
use the
lots
same
of
ones we
examples.
taught you because there are so many 2-word adjectives, right?
And I think our listeners would see this really often with page, like 20-page
Yes.
paper, right?
Yes, right.
No?
So if it comes before the noun, 4-page would be 4 hyphen page. You can either write out 4 or write the number. But if you're saying this agenda is 4 pages, no hyphen, because then 4 is the adjective and pages is the noun.
Yes, I love it. So important. And, you think of, like I said before, like a 20-page thesis. You have to write these huge papers in college, in your master's program. So that's where you might hear that a lot.
Yes,
Really, any
for sure.
place you have to do a huge study, that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
but even if you're like reading a news article, if you share a news article with a friend, they might
Yeah.
be like, that is a 2-page news article. And TLDR, what is it? Too long, didn't read. TLDR.
I've never heard that before.
You've never heard that? Oh, I see it all the time. This acronym means too long, didn't read, because someone sends you something that's so long and all you respond, if you're like, I can't read that, it's too long, you just write the capital letters, the acronym TLDR.
Wow,
Too long, didn't
we
read.
really have to be concise these days, don't we? Okay, fair enough.
That
Good.
one's been around a while, though. You guys
Yeah.
leave a comment and let Lindsay know she should know what that acronym means. I see
I
it
think I'm
a lot.
missing a lot out in the world. I don't know what I'm doing these days. and bonus here, Aubrey, you said yikes. Very native and natural.
I say that all the time. And even though this role play, we're at work, I still would be like, yikes. It is
Yes.
indicating like stress or fear, right? But we'll also use it to sort of be silly and funny sometimes. If someone says something, we're like, yikes.
Yes, so good. And then you said, I'm only a part-time employee. So our listeners will see this a lot.
Yes, part-time, very common 2-word adjective, should always be hyphenated. Again, learn that chunk. This one's not separated. This employee is part-time. Even if it comes after, still an adjective, 2-word adjective, hyphenated.
Important to know the difference, right?
definitely.
Or full-time employee.
Same.
Yep.
Full-time, always hyphenate that.
Next one. Love this.
Yes, I feel like you're a level-headed person. That is quite a compliment. I like to be told that I am level-headed.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Logical. You don't lose your cool, right?
Exactly, right?
Okay.
It's very visual to imagine someone keeping their head level, holding
Yes.
still instead of like being energetic and bouncing all over.
All over the place. What's the takeaway for our listeners?
Yes, this is a very common mistake, guys, for both natives and language learners. But now that you know when to do it, you have that just little bit of detail to make your business English a little more polished. Use this for formal writing. Be sure to write 2-word adjectives correctly.
Yeah, like I said before, guys, this is one of the probably 5 grammar skills that would close the loop for you on becoming super native and natural. It's one of the things that native speakers aren't totally sure about until they take a look and they remember that rule. And so if you can close the loop in your mind on this, you're going to feel good. You're going to feel that extra level of confidence. And we want you to have that confidence, right?
Exactly. Yes. And a few episodes lately, I just want to say you're welcome because I did the deep dive that you don't have to want to do. There's so much info online and it's a little hard to sift through it. So just follow All Ears English so that you can get the important grammar and just what you really need to know instead of wading through the internet, you guys.
Yes. And I'll go ahead and say thank you, Aubrey, on behalf of our listeners
Thank you,
for
Lindsay.
doing that work for us. We love it. Just in 15 minutes a day, you guys can come away with really getting what you need to know and going back out into the world and connecting. All right.
Yes, for sure. So
Good.
fun. And I enjoy doing it. So
All right. Thanks for hanging out today. I'll see you next time.
thanks. See you later.
Bye.